The following video could be seen as slow, boring, or lacking action to any of those who don't enjoy the art of player watching. After a brief first encounter with wolves, on our way to Mishkino, my friend and I actually used all of our 5.56 rounds for his AUG and my M4 on this small pack of wolves. We were kind of firing a little hastily, so that by the time we reached Mishkino, we actually didn't have any ammo for our guns. So while we were posted up in the north end trees, we decided to observe for a little while and see if there was any chance it was safe to go down into the base. It became apparent very quickly this was not the case. The following footage was taken over a span of about 25 to 35 minutes. I cut it down for the sake of the video. In essence, we watched a single player loot around the base before heading up into the trees to, you guessed it, camp on East Hill. You could see his friend in an orange mountain backpack underneath the pine tree. After circling around the hill a little while, he also lays down and decides to keep a scope on the base. Let's watch what happens. I cut out about 3 minutes time for the sake of the video. Starting from the top left corner of my scope, you can see a player run down the hill immediately to our friendly player and shoot him in the head. Orange backpack guy, of course, just buries himself deeper into his tree. What else would the guy do? The one thing we'll give, let's call him Murderer, credit for, he doesn't immediately loot the body. Whether he in fact saw the two players together, or if he's just using good logic in that there's always a second, he's taking his time to at least keep mobile and search around for a friend. At this time, Orange Mountain Backpack guy aims up the hill and fires off some rounds, seemingly to be spotted Murderer's friend. We did not see him again. I can only assume Murderer's friend killed Orange Backpack guy. Well, after some time, again, edited for time, Murderer finally goes and strips the body of its gear and eventually runs down to the base. Now, this is where I have to stop and question the reasoning. It's obvious that he had been staked out and watching, at least for a little while, and knew that our original friend had already looted the base pretty thoroughly. Why he would feel the need that he now needs to run down into the tents to search for his own gear is beyond me. But, regardless, it is what he does. I rushed this video out after one of the experimental updates actually reduced Mishkino's size. I felt like the video needed to come out while this camp was still fresh in our minds in its old state. I really like some of the changes. I don't know how I feel about how small Mishkino now is. Not long after he runs down to the base, he starts taking automatic fire. Either a player approached from the west side that's my blind, or he possibly just logged into the server inside the tents. Either way, our friend the murderer is now under fire. And here we briefly get a view of what I think is the assailant in a knight's helmet, being chased by zombies. And as I pan back up to the hill, I see a fresh spawn, probably just looking for gear, but getting assaulted by wolves. Can things get any crazier? It's needless to say, when you come to Mishkino, you never know what you're gonna encounter. At some point in time or another, murderer, or his assailant, notice the man on the hill being chased by wolves and start taking pot shots at him. And either they kill him in my blind spot, or for whatever reason the wolves decide to turn their attention to the camp. The bursts of automatic fire I can only guess were just killing off the wolves behind the hill that's blind to me. Looks like murderer is still alive and well. It's good for him. Oh, but for how long? I don't know if this is a new player entering the fray or just a player who picked up different gear. You can see the bright blue UN helmet from, what are we, 900 meters away? He runs up to engage our murderer. And as most dayz encounters go, close quarters combat is a 50-50 coin toss. And the blue helmet assailant is down. Based on the zombie's behavior, I think he just broke his legs. But we never do see him get up again. Meanwhile, we see another player, I think the friend of the murderer, now running around the base. At this time, my friend and I decided, regardless of what continues to happen, we're not safe here, and the circumstances aren't going to change in our favor. Our best course of action is to leave Mishkino behind us, go find ammo somewhere else, and maybe return to put our luck into the pot. As we're leaving, the fire sounds just continue to ring out through the hillsides. It really shows what distances you can hear the gunfire. I just thought this was a little interesting video to make, showing that, one, sometimes you're being watched, and the person watching you isn't necessarily hostile. And second, things are always going to be crazy in Mishkino. And I hope the reduce in the size of the camp doesn't change that. That's it for today, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying 6-1. And this is Pawn A signing off.